you mustn't feel insulted when I say this to you, because I'm not insulting you, but I'm telling you from Astraya's point of view, I'm saying it to you as it is. When strangers, where me and his mother are not given a go-ahead, has come into his life and is telling him anything, eat food, put those shoes on, come here, it's good for you, or be careful, he won't listen to that. He needs confirmation. And he now is not having that at all. You're not helping him. Even if he sat with us in a specially arranged way, where intrusion, and you've got like, it's like an exhibition in a zoo to children.
Very busy environment.
I know, but it's not ideal. People have been traumatized. They're going to see each other. They may cry. The members of the family may run to each other and hug each other, and they feel all these strangers around are looking at them. This is against human rights, period. You know, Article 3 and 6 and 8 totally forbids this, and social services have done this, and we're not going to let go of that later on. And so if you stop doing it, maybe, and you can follow a certain way, and we can work together, we don't have a problem with that.
Yeah. Well, let the foster care.
The first contact with.
So the foster carers keep saying to the children, "It's okay, Altai. It's okay, Handan. Let the foster carer deal with it." That's what we're saying all the time. Foster carer deal with it. He's sitting down all day long, watching television endlessly. Let the social worker deal with it. But those children are left there until social services decide what will happen. But it's not going to be that simple, is it? Because removal was wrong, number one. Because this place here is where they live. But you brought it to the court. If you decided to go to the court and say, we've actually got a number of things wrong, this, we've seen evidence it was completely wrong, the police were wrong, then the judge can decide if they want to do a supervision for 6 months and you continue your investigations. The judge may think it's not your fault, because it wasn't you who done this.
And the court will make those decisions.
Well, in the
yeah, but you're not allowing it. That's the problem.
One more thing.
Are you sure?
Can I go back to this? Because I'm just,
I need to say
sorry.
one more thing in regards to
I'm just worried that
This
we
is
won't
an
get through
apartment
with
that's Sharon June's apartment at the
During
time,
the
and they
first-
lived there for months during the time. This is
During
actually
the first
18th or
contact
28th of
with
August.
all the children
This is days
on the
before,
9th of September. The contact
right, okay,
supervisors
all right.
were very mild, they were very quiet, they did not interfere with the contact, they were just sitting quietly and doing their
Was
notes.
it the first time?
And going, Astraya, I call him going, did not leave the room.
That's
But
the
the
first
next time we came,
Yeah,
there
that
was a
seemed-
social worker supervising the contact, and she just wouldn't
Totally
stop
wrecked the
talking.
situation.
She kept asking them questions, she kept asking me questions, she just wouldn't.
Interfering,
All of the
obstructing.
contact workers know that you want
So I was a
quiet.
contact
No, it's not just that, it's saying,
and he left the room. He left the
They
room.
were the cause why he left on
So
the second
if it's
occasion.
quiet, if it's
He
not
can't take that.
interfered with, he might just decide.
If there's something happening that is not agreed, like it says in your notes, which you're going to eventually come to in one of your points there, if social worker leaves the room, he said emergency, social worker can leave the room, go to a senior social worker and say, look, this has happened, what do we do not to disturb the children? All right, as long as it's within control, don't say anything and it won't agitate anything, then we'll talk to the parents when the children leave. No, they jump in ahead, no, you can't do that. This is what the social worker did. To Joanna, no, there it is right there, like that, banging, jumping up, that's it, end of contact. Handan started screaming in my arms, and I said to him, it's okay. What did they do? They said, my behavior made him scream. Now, if the social workers can't keep to, or the staff can't keep to these agreements, what are we going to do?
Okay.
Next point, okay,
yeah,
so,
right,
all
where I
right.
want up to, because I've got, right.
Well, I
so
mean,
we've talked
Australia
about-
should be allowed to come like the other children.
Yeah.
If you guys think you can just, for now, leave it like that, we do know what's going on with him, and you obviously need to find out.
He's going to continue to be given the choice to come and we'll consider different rooms and a quiet environment. We'll certainly take that on board.
If you separate him though from his brothers when he comes here to him, that will not be a good idea. He will start to,
No, the children will all be in the same room together. That's when I
same room together.
That would be it.
Okay.
Okay, so the next part is children's social care would encourage parents and Cheyenne to write to the children weekly. Photos can be exchanged, letters should be written in English and placed in open envelopes that the content can be checked. The envelope should be handed to the family time supervisor or social worker after family time when the children have left the building. If parents or Cheyenne would like any support in writing a letter, they could inform the social worker and support can be provided.
Right. Well, I mean, he writes and he reads a number of languages.
So
He's studying law at the moment, so it's not a problem for him to write. But the purpose of this is,
It's just to maintain your relationship. If you want to tell him things that's been happening at home, or tell him what you've been up to.
you see, initially there was some book suggestion, and because of all the troubles that was going on with Lindsay and all the things that were going on and police and this and that, we couldn't stand to just consider it one time, one session, and the next session we could say, and obviously your nerves are at the end of it, your senses are all heightened, you've been attacked from left, right and centre, and you think, why are they saying it to me? I've never done this. But they're saying I have. Then there's other stuff. There isn't a peaceful moment to consider. What I'm saying is that these daily books, going back and forward between us and this foster carers,
The communication book.
or the communication book,
Yeah.
I think this is in the interest of children to do. If we ever said something contrary, I think there's a lot of mix-up going on and misunderstanding. Because we can write in there, I forgot what was the foster carer's name for Agu? Elsie, Ellie, no. Who? I've got her full name written somewhere, I can't remember now. It's,
We'll have to check. I can't
well,
remember.
anyway, we can, let's just name his Ellie, for example, right? Hi Ellie, notice this. Is it possible, please, for you to consider this? Not being funny to you, but 18 months of her life.
Yeah.
This is what we did. It's going to help the baby. Baby's going to be. She's not going to be completely happy, but she's going to be less distressed than what she is,
And that's
that will make your life happier and easier as a.
From beginning, there was one contact where a contact supervisor reading that to me during contact, which I found very inappropriate because that time is for me to spend with Agu, not reading those notes. But I've asked very clearly if those notes can be provided to me at the end of contact or that book itself, and I can make my notes. Now I've never heard
There's been a lot of misunderstanding. I think what has been done maybe had a good purpose to it by all sides, but unfortunately the manner in which it was done in and the circumstances that Lindsay was constantly creating that friction for her to write down that she was right, that there's violence and she's a domestic violence.
I think
She was agitating everybody all the time, and we're already in shock.
In regard, obviously,
So if we can have if you agree to have a daily, because this is what you guys wanted, I think.
Well, the communication book, the purpose of the communication book is so the little one would come with it in a little backpack with her nappies and whatever, and you could have a look at it and see, oh, she didn't have much of a breakfast, or she didn't sleep much last night, or she's ate lots for lunch, so she might not want a little bit more. And then you can, I suppose, ready for the first foster carer, say, oh, she's had a big bowl of whatever, and
At the very least.
Yeah.
At the very least.
And
And
so
for example, if there was an issue with, because the teething hadn't come to an end, then, towards this age, you could have some nights of very, because we've had many children, very painful. Now the baby comes along, she's like, she won't wake up, she's out of it, not the usual way. She may become concerned. She's a mother. The first thing she's going to do is get concerned. If you're a good human being, your heart is in place, you love your baby, you're going to be concerned. So she might say, the teething issue, Then she might have a thermometer and say, right, let's check to make sure her teething hasn't brought a temperature to 38, 39, what have you. She may have teething of some kind of, and it could help the foster carer.
We'll do that.
So that's a good idea to do, and I hope we won't lose the meaning of this communication.
No, the purpose of the communication book is that so that you know what the little one's been doing in foster care, and then
of course
the foster carer knows what's been happening in family time, so she knows, for example, not to give her anything big to eat if she's already had a big meal. She's already had a nap, she won't need another nap before bedtime. And it's it's a way of you both having that understanding.
Is that
of
only
what's been going on.
Yes, no, that's very good. Is it only for the purposes of what happened with the baby, for example, if you're talking about one of the children, during contact, or if there's something helpful from before the, or doesn't she want to know about her previous life, or...
No, you could be sitting in family time and think, oh, I haven't told the foster carer that she really loves this song, or really loves to play this game. Absolutely, it's anything about the children that's going to help make their stay with the carers.
And if the foster carers had to take her to see the GP, or, to the dentist or something, they would let you know that.
Well, obviously, it would be nice for if maybe at least Joanna could have gone with the children to medical. She's not going to take them and run.
Urgent or something,
You're only going to make their lives better by her being with the children at dentist or
but if
GP.
there's something
It's only half an hour.
we need to tell you,
Yeah.
the foster carer can
Okay,
write it down.
well, full communications, as much as you guys are willing to do with us, there's no reason to say no.
Yeah.
It's going to help the children if anything else.
Straight away or before instead of afterwards.
Okay. Okay, so the next point is, should you happen to see the foster carers, you are not to approach them.
That's another problem. It's like there's been some misunderstanding about, I said something, Joanna said something about the foster carer. She looks like, maybe she can't really handle looking after a baby. That was not insultive, they had a reason for that. But, it's not going to work, us or yourselves or the foster carer thinking like this. Because at the moment, we're in very sensitive position. We're in the courts. It's very, very, very sensitive stuff. So as much as what we can get, where we can at least, if we like it or not, for the children, we can try to see the positive points even between ourselves, foster carers, yourselves and us, to communicate without the children being attacked or people to get to me, like Lindsay to get to me. She's hurting the children. It's not going to work.
And that's what
It
we
won't
want
happen.
to
It's
work
not going to help anyone,
towards.
and it's going to be. It's going to come out in the end. So if there are any social workers who want to just look, that's my job. I'm going to do exactly what is the contents of my job. I'm not favouring anyone. I'm just going to do what is right to do based on, not because somebody said the father is this and that. I can't see that anywhere yet. So I'm not going to be saying that to him because it may not be true.
Yeah. So we want to work towards you being able to
So if we can
have a
work
positive
together,
relationship.
yeah.
In regards to this one, we have never seen the foster carers and approached them. For example, the first contact, the foster carers.
But a few
came,
times
I
they did. You
obviously
said come to
recognized-
talk to you
Well, I
or
haven't
something. I
approached
don't.
them. I was put in a position where I didn't have a choice. So
It
the
may have
first
been an
time-
opportunity to see how they get on and see maybe if they want
We
to chat
want to
or.
see that you can work with professionals first, and if we can, get a good relationship.
No. The bit I'm
then
making, the
foster
point I'm
carers.
making is that she had already spoken to John and also Ellie and if I'm getting her name right, I'm not sure. In her car and in their car and taking
See,
out
you
children.
put me in a
Right.
position where the foster carer was in front of me.
If
Now,
it was
unless I got
prearranged-
back into the taxi
If
and
it was-
drove away,
Yeah.
there was
I
no way
think-
for me not to
yeah.
approach.
If it was
them.
prearranged, she may have liked it and she may have even said, hello, how are you?
I think it's for you
And-
not to go out of your way to,
Well,
to
we've
find
never-
them and
we've
approach
never
them.
done that.
I mean, I know where they both live. Well,
And
what
I
is there
still
to
want
find
to know
out?
how you know that. I've asked you many, many times now.
I will reveal it
and-
in the court when this case starts. I will show everything. But, I'm not going to interfere with nobody.
It's not
Does-
helpful withholding all
But
that
why do you
information
think like
now.
that?
Well, you're withholding lots of information.
We're not withholding
No,
anything.
don't go into something else now.
Right,
Okay.
can we
No,
go
no.
back to this?
Okay.
Can I
So
suggest,
that's one is fine.
can I suggest that something's added to that? So
Which one is that?
should you happen to see the foster carers, you're not to approach them.
Maybe
But
that-
I think we do need to consider that there might be a time when that you might bump into the foster carers, and we just say that there. They need to be positive interactions, and especially if the children are there. I think it goes without saying.
And,
that
if
it
maybe the
needs to be
children
positive.
see that,
Yeah.
for example, us, or let me just speak for Joanna because she's seen them already, and they're communicating to her a few seconds, few minutes. Obviously, everybody's got a job to do. You're not going to be out there all day talking. The children may look and say, well, something may calm a bit more. Because they are traumatized now. There's no point anyone telling me they're not. But by doing things like that, if you really are interested in not causing them any more trauma than what they already have, or by minimizing a bit here and a bit there, it can count a little bit until, we come to the end of the
For
stage.
example, when I came
So-
out of the taxi and I saw the children and I recognized the social worker, I didn't know that the man is the foster care. I had no idea that that's who he is.
And
Now
that's
when
sudden,
I
it's
approached
not-
and said hello and he introduced himself and he said who he is, I was a bit shocked because I didn't expect that. And then you, in your documents, criticizing me that I've approached the foster carer. I didn't even know that is the foster
Confusion,
carer.
lots of confusion.
Things like that, can't.
And I think maybe she doesn't
it's
know
fine.
what to say. I don't know if John knew about it in advance.
And
Maybe
then
the-
Agu comes and the social worker says, well, do you want to go and take the baby out of the car? So
Which
as
is
much as I
nice,
would
but a
love
bit
to do it,
shocking.
it
It's
does put me
like-
in a bit-
Yeah.
all that restriction all of a sudden has come away. I mean, when they first come in, And because I mean we are living through trauma at the moment. Don't get that wrong, or don't think it doesn't exist. From the 1st of September, and so are the children even more, so much more, I'm sure. So when you do sudden things where the children are involved, you know, feelings can run high.
Yeah.
And
So,
John maybe meant well. I'm sure
Oh,
when he said,
definitely.
"Oh, I'm the one
Yeah,
who's
he's
helping
lovely,
looking
yeah.
after your little ones."
Yeah.
Now, in
Yeah.
the English
Just
term, that
don't
is
go
nice,
out of your way.
but she'll
to-
misunderstand that.
We've never once done that.
She'll misunderstand
And that's
that,
it,
and
that's
it will
all.
hurt her.
Yeah.
So, if you could just say, "I'm John, I'm the foster carer."
I'm sure he didn't mean anything.
I'm sure he didn't, but this is clash
Yeah.
of culture.
No,
Sometimes
I understand.
unintentionally will hurt both parties.
Yeah.
But then the social services should have made sure that we
Well,
bump into
I know,
each other.
I know.
well, that's the
Yeah.
problem, isn't
Yeah.
it? We're trying
We
to
would, for
get it
example,
right.
like to
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
meeting
Well,
with them, maybe in an official place like here, and meet them officially as introduced.
Let's work towards that.
That's one thing.
Yeah.
By bumping into them on a car
Yeah.
park and say, "I'm the foster carer," then do you want to go and get me the other foster carer at the car? It's a bit shocking for me
Yeah.
as well. So
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Okay, so the next point is
what did we agree on that
so
last one? Then?
so that's a communication book. So should you happen to see the foster carers, you're not to approach them, but if that does happen, any communication should be positive for the children.
Right. So don't sort of run away or ignore or hide when you see each other. Like,
well,
oh, there's the foster care. Oh, quick, get out
I
of the way
think
so
what-
that we
I
don't see
think-
them, they don't see us.
I think what I would say is that if you all arrived at the same time, and you all arrived out
There you
there,
go.
and your children are there, and they're with the people who are caring for them,
Everybody
that
be nice
that
and-
it's positive.
Okay, so if
Yeah.
that's accepted, then I was going to say she, but we can relax that if they are there.
Yeah.
Then, hi, how you doing? And, okay, and that's it.
Yeah.
Not, you mustn't see them, don't look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
Because that's just,
Yeah.
it's not natural even, is it?
No. Okay, so the next point is Cheyenne will attend family time on a Wednesday only.
Well, I think already Charlotte had
Charlie.
Charlie. I mean, he's part of the family.
Yeah. So if he can come on a Wednesday, if he wants to come, he can
No, I
come.
mean, can he come any day because he's part of the family? He's
We'll
not.
stick
he's
to
not,
the Wednesday because the Wednesday is the family one. The one on a Monday and a Friday
Parents.
is just for you and the baby.
Just for you, as in mother, me
Yes.
not included.
Mother.
Why
Well,
am I
the
not
next-
included?
Because that's the arrangement, Joanna and the baby.
But do we have see? There's no explanation for it yet.
Small steps, build it up slowly, okay? The family
No,
one is
okay,
once
but
a week.
why am I? Is it because I'm the big monster in all this?
Not
Right,
at all,
I'm
not
the
at all.
boogeyman.
Not at all, but we need to say that
Well,
you
that's
can
like
work.
he loves-
Initially, the contact
If
was
you read
both of
everything,
us
that's what it
and
says.
It was initially, yeah. And then, we want to reinstate it, and the plan would be when we reinstate it, it would be once a week for the full family, and then you have an extra twice a week for you and the baby. But then, in time, if you can keep working with us and we're sticking to the agreement, we would like to then include you in the
Right.
other contacts as well.
All right, Sabrina, that would make absolute sense if you had one of these classical stories of the domestic violence and men is this and that and he's drunk and he's doing this and that. I could understand that, but at the start off, you didn't have anything like that. It was both of us. And then this happened.
So
And
that
from that date, this is solicitor's letter acknowledging that social workers made allegations against me to police and police are sorry. This is part of that letter and that I will no longer hear about this. I can give you copies before I go. This is the Crown Prosecution Service UK itself saying, apologies about your arrest, we made a mistake. You know, initially when they arrested me, that there was some warrant apparently on the 1st of September,
Right.
and I was taken into police custody until the next day. They're saying mistake. They've actually pulled back
I'll
from
have a read
that.
of
Now,
all these
all these things, father arrested, police, this, that, the knife day. The police is saying, inexperienced social worker, it says it in here, and also allegation in a... you can read it later, I'll give it to
Yeah,
you.
I'll have
Yes,
a read.
it does say in there. Plus, anyway, we do know for a fact that day who took the knife from the table. It was the very young recorder, not me. I didn't take it and run anywhere. But that was used to get me down to Wednesdays only.
Right.
Now,
But
why
I
don't you?
also
No, but the
speak
problem
to
is,
them on
why
your
don't you just accept? Look, we done it intentionally, or it was by accident, or it was lack of experience, or CCTV mistake, whatever. It was a mistake on our behalf, not the father. Leave him alone, let him get back to where he started off with. What's the problem with that?
So
I
we
can't
want to go
understand
back
it.
to once
But I haven't
a
done
week,
anything to anybody.
and then to develop it that way. But then
Yeah,
as
but
long as,
you've created the situation intently from my perspective.
right, that is our plan.
No, but why are you doing that?
Because we want to.
I didn't run
that
around with a
you
knife.
can-
But you see,
I didn't
you
threaten
are
anybody.
missing very, very important point. Now we were very.
One day you let me come in with a knife and
Children
cut
want to
cakes
see us.
for the staff and for the children and everyone, and put cashews and strawberries and grapes and serve everyone, including your colleagues. And I've got a massive, bigger knife. Nobody said anything to me. I've been a chef also for years. So me with a knife is like a chef with pastry or whatever. Then the next time, knife. What? We already had a judge say cultural ways of doing foods, which is not cutting up a salad. That's not what in our culture salad is. It's something completely different. And nobody ever said, do not bring a knife. Do not bring a this. I didn't know.
Okay. So
And then you're still using that at the moment, even though the
Right.
legal justice
I'll have
system
a
is saying
read.
no. No. But why do you not pull back from that and allow how it was to start with before the knife issue?
because we need to build it up slowly.
But I haven't done anything to you. You guys done it to me, not you personally. But the system here, especially Lindsay was behind all of that
And
to start
let
with,
us
and
deal with
Sonia.
it internally.
But deal with it. Don't destroy me and my children
So-
until you deal with it.
Right. So this is
And
the
I
plan.
noticed that as well since then. Security are always, since that day, security are wherever I go when I come to this building. I've already taken issues about that for this harassment and intimidation to stop. And this is because of that day that the police are blaming social services. I was released without charge. I didn't do any of that. You know that. Now, I don't want to keep repeating the same thing over and over again because it means that you guys are not taking responsibility to stop your mistake. Now, if it was about some other administration issue, we can send letters once a day, once a month, whatever. But the children are involved. You can't miss an hour in a day.
And there is
The
not
damage
a single contact and not
is
a
going to
single
stay
person
permanent when they
is
grow
here.
up. That
The
damage
children
will be
saying they want
permanent.
to see us more. This for them is also unacceptable. I've also heard contact supervisors saying that only in cases where children don't want to see their parents, they have only like 1 hour a week. Now we have 1.5 hours with 4 children. That's not even
Some
enough
children don't want to
time
see their
to
so-called
greet
biological
each other.
parents
You see?
after what they do to
But we
them.
want to build it up.
We don't have that kind of a thing.
Alright. So right,
Can
we
I
go
come
through
back to
this?
these 2 points? Because the
Okay,
2
Cheyenne on Wednesday
Yeah.
only.
So Cheyenne to attend on a Wednesday only. The next point is something that we've just discussed. So Cheyenne, no father, will attend family time on a Monday and a Friday. Not clear about whether you guys are in agreement with those 2 points or not.
So which
Well,
one?
at the moment,
So can we look at
I mean-
Cheyenne will attend family time on a Wednesday only?
Well, I mean, bless you. Whatever is the maximum that you guys can put, because there's no point us arguing over this, but whatever is the maximum allowed for him, he should be here as much as possible. So whatever is acceptable, we don't have a choice at the moment. This is under duress, by the way, you do know that. So we will accept it because we don't have a choice. If I said to you, please, can you let him come every time? You say, well, no. What am I going to do? Start arguing with you? I'm going to have to say,
Let's
I don't
start
agree
with
with you.
Wednesday.
Under duress.
Yeah.
Do it
Let's
how you
start.
want
Okay,
in that
leave this
case. So
Okay.
we'll.
So
yeah,
then
that's
the
fine.
second point that we've just discussed is that Cheyenne, our father, will attend family time on a Monday and a Friday. Mr. Shemi, I know you've said that's not what you want. Your preferred option would be to attend more. But are we in agreement that we'll stick with this?
So
this
me
time-
and Cheyenne once a week on a Wednesday or
on a
whichever day
Wednesday.
that is going to be on,
Yeah.
and the other days Joanna on her own.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Like I say, it's not my choice.
Yeah.
You're forcing me into it, but I'll
Well,
agree
I'm
with
not-
you
Mr.
for
Shemi,
now
I'm
for
not
the
forcing
benefit. No,
you. I'm not forcing you
you're
to do
not.
anything.
No,
This
but I
is
don't
about-
have a choice, do I?
No, I understand what you're saying, and I know that you're not saying that I'm personally forcing you, but this is an agreement that will.
But I don't want you to come later on and say, look, the
No.
father agreed, it's enough for him to see the children
Oh,
once a
no,
week.
no,
Don't
no.
be trying that on
Will
me
not.
because that, alright. So
Will
under
not.
those circumstances we've agreed, I mean, yep, okay, I'll
Okay.
come here on Wednesdays or whichever day is designated and that's
Okay,
that's it for
right.
now.
We'll move on from those 2
Right.
points then. 2 family time supervisors will attend family time sessions. You were asked not to question staff about their identity before.
So this one, 2 family time supervisors. Is there an actual reason why there has to be 2 when it's just me and the baby? Because I understand 2 for obviously 5 people, then the parents So you
Another
might want
parent
to,
and then
to
junior
obviously
and-
be able to see everything and hear everything. But when it's just me and the baby and it's breastfeeding, and the two contact supervisors constantly keep talking between each other. Nothing to do
And
with
to
me,
her
they're
as well.
specific.
Yeah.
Very, very
Yeah.
She
destructive.
can't.
and-
They
And
can't.
that's something that
Can I just have one when I'm just me and the baby?
Or if you can have independent contact supervisors whose job is that, not social workers who are independent, they've got no
And
favoritism,
the
and what they
contact
see is
team,
what they write
they're
and they
not
know.
social workers.
Women, it often they are.
Support workers.
Only a social worker will come in if we have no support workers left. If we need
But
support.
I'm
you
just-
don't
I'm
have
just asking.
No, one minute. The judge said very clearly, and Mrs. Chowdhury raised the point, agreed with me and agreed with you, the Kafkas barrister, Mrs. Chowdhury, Mrs. Bagley's barrister,
Yeah.
and said that she raised the concerns. The judge said she agreed that professional, independent contact supervisors, that was not doubted.
Yeah. So,
So-
I've
Now,
already
in those
made inquiries through Children North East for
Right.
them to do the contact, and I was going to put it to you today. Would you rather proceed with the local authority, or would you prefer somebody independent?
No, we
like
want
Children
someone
North East?
So I
independent.
need clarity in the.
But at the
sorry.
same time, sorry, we want to see the children as soon as possible, which Charlene's mentioned tomorrow.
I'm not
Even
quite
an
sure the
option.
question Sabrina asked if it was the venue or the staff. Which one are you talking about? Staff. Obviously, if you can't have a venue for weeks on end, I'm just saying if it happens that way, but you can offer elsewhere. For goodness sake, which good parent is going
Right.
to say no for the children
Yeah.
to their parents?
We'll make those inquiries and we'll let you know, and then give you the option.
In the meantime, or I'm asking in regards to this subject, if it's just me and the baby for Mondays and Fridays, is it possible to have one person? Or if it is two people necessary,
If it's
can they just
professional,
be quiet?
independent
Yeah, that's what I've
supervisors.
shared with them, to be quiet, because it's your time.
But is there a reason why there's two when it's just me and the baby?
So I think if we can see that
I mean, automatically
Yeah.
there's usually two, isn't there? Regardless.
there can be two in
This
in
is
one
my
family
fourth
time.
case with local
Do you know, for
authorities,
me,
and
sit down
it's always
and-
been.
Breastfeeding
True,
for
isn't
1
it?
hour, I
Yeah.
have two people watching me.
Yeah.
It's
I understand.
Maybe the
I think it's
breastfeeding is a
because,
bit
you know,
different. I don't
just in
know.
case you want to take, several phone calls and things became a little bit difficult, that they would need two people there to kind of support you.
That's an important point. I mean, I know Joanna feels strongly about this, and I feel the same way. If we have to change a nappy or hold the baby or do this and that, we prefer to be left to do it because we don't have parenting issues. You might think we have, but we don't have parenting issues to how to do this, that, and the other. We've been assessed even, and I did say years ago, this is an insult, but for this time I'll do it. And they said parenting absolutely immaculate, etc. You'll probably, if you read all the files, you'll see in there. And we don't have an issue with that.
Yeah.
And for somebody to get up in that few 1 or 2 or 3 hours to come into that little field of communication with the child, so the child doesn't get a chance to only see the parent, to keep that bond going as much as possible, because that's very important. It's very, plus we don't usually
I
need.
don't need advice in how to.
If we need
change
something,
language.
we
let
are
us
vocal.
just
We'll say,
finish our
excuse me,
assessment.
can you give us a hand? We are
Yeah.
capable of
Yeah,
saying that.
let us
Okay.
do our assessment so we can see that.
Okay.
I'm really conscious of the time. I've got another meeting at 12:30. So we might have to come back together to go through the other
Shall we come
half.
back this afternoon? Have you got half an hour this afternoon?
I absolutely haven't. I'll have to see when Charlene's got availability.
Is it possible not to see Charlene? Seriously, I've
Why?
got very, very massive
No, it's
questions.
very
She has
serious
never
issues. It's,
answered any single question I have ever asked her. She twists my words.
But hold on a minute. Leave that for a minute. About this. How many more do we have? Can't be that many.
Quite a few, I think. Yeah, we've only done half.
So,
So
I
we
mean,
need another hour.
if this was signed today, what are you actually going to do in practical reality for allowing the children to see us?
So what I will do
That's the
then
important
is
part.
I would go away and speak to Children North East again and say, right, when are you available? When can we pull a meeting together? We are ready to go with parents. I would pull a meeting together with Children North East to discuss why we are involved with you, what the concerns are, so they have a good understanding of what they need to support with during family time.
Well, I think we just need contact supervisor. We don't have issues that we need assistance with. You just
Well,
want to
yeah.
record the meeting, so record it.
But we'd need to make sure that they have some understanding of why we're working with you.
Right.
All right. So then I'd pull a meeting together. and then we would arrange.
Do we get to see what you're saying to them, or is it secret?
Well, I mean, there's nothing to.
Well, it's best
kept
always to see.
secret.
Okay, so right, and what if it's too far in the distance?
Then I would tell you when they could do it, and if it is weeks and weeks away, I would be saying to you, would you like the local authority to do it in the meantime?
Right. You know, we were looking at maybe seeing the children last week, then last week became this week, then today's becoming today in the afternoon, then that will become tomorrow.
And we can't do anything until this is
I'm
agreed.
just looking at my diary. Today at 4 o'clock, I could see you to finish going through
All right,
this.
okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
But I would only have half an hour max.
Well, we have half
Right.
left, so.
But if we just concentrate only on that, unless there's bits that need...
And then if that's signed today, then I will speak to Children North East tomorrow and arrange a meeting to discuss the family time with them tomorrow, if they're
Right.
available tomorrow to have a discussion. And then would
So
you...
if who's available?
Children North East.
But I mean, in the meantime, whilst you're having the administration communications with them, can we not just quickly arrange something in any revenue that you can arrange? Obviously, you won't let us do it, so that's not the question. Any revenue you can arrange for us to see the children and
So
children to see us.
would you like the local authority to supervise the contact?
Well, until then,
whilst-
there is no choice, because you know, even if there's a war going on, I don't mean in this country but elsewhere, and children can see their parents, even in that war setting, that is a very comfortable feeling for children. There's a very reassuring feeling for children to always see their parents. I'm not talking about parents who hurt children night and day that you probably have to deal with. I don't know nothing about that stuff. We don't do that stuff. We're talking about us kind of parents, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So the children, they have told me, and they have told Joanna, and we have other information, every single day, non-stop, they are telling wherever they are, we want to see our parents, we want to go home. So anybody telling us otherwise, please don't try that. It's just going to go against you on the day.
So
If they want to see us every day, if they want to see us every day,
If we sign it, you can arrange it even for tomorrow.
I think that's unlikely that we'd get it in place for tomorrow, because we'd need to have.
well, why did
meetings
she
with-
say that to her now? She's,
I'm not sure what.
Did she say it? Did you hear her say that?
Well, I think what was said, I think you guys were saying to Charlene, can it be tomorrow? And the conversation got very difficult and very lost at that point. I think
Because she's mentioned Wednesday's contact will take place.
Those were
normally
the
on
days where
Yes,
that
she
you
did.
would
She
usually
said,
say them.
your normal. We would like to look to illustrate contact as it was, which was Wednesday. And I said, so that's tomorrow. Maybe that's.
So why can't it be this afternoon or tomorrow morning?
So we need to go through.
If
this
you guys
first.
wanted to, why can't it
No,
be?
we'll
I
be
don't
talking whilst we
understand
sign
that.
this after we see your colleague.
That's
for-
babe,
and we
can you
sign
just
it.
hold on a
How
minute?
quickly can we see them?
Well, I'd be able to have meetings with the staff tomorrow. Realistically, I think it would probably be next week for your full family contact.
But next week is court.
It's next week.
Judge said to ensure that there is
Yeah.
sufficient
So I
contact.
think next week we've got the court here, and I think Tuesday. So we would like to go to court and say, right, this is what we've agreed. This
That's
is
not what the
how
judge
we've
told
worked
you.
together
No.
today, and this is what the plan
That's
is.
not what
You
the
see,
judge
we've
said.
we've agreed. We wanted to actually come Friday after court to have that looked at and signed so we can see the children.
So,
Now
so
next week we're going to
just one
court
minute.
and you might.
can you let me ask the
And we'll have our
questions?
plan, hopefully.
So what's the reason why you can't arrange contact for tomorrow?
It's because we need to have meetings and discussions with the family time supervisors, and ideally I'd like it to be Children North East. I think
So you would
The-
like to speak to who?
I would like to speak to Children North East first,
Right.
to see when they would be able to start supervising the family time, and if they can pull a plan together and start supervising that.
They probably will eventually if this still is going on. But in the meantime,
And we need to sort out
what
funding
is
and
stopping you in
things
the
as well.
meantime?
So I would then need to have a discussion with the manager of the contact team, and
So which contact team are we talking about?
yeah.
Well, right, okay.
Okay, and yeah, I would need to have a meeting with the manager and for her to discuss it with the family time workers, and she would need to decide which family time workers are best suited to working with your family.
You mean
Um,
here whilst we're waiting for
Yeah.
Northeast? Couldn't we arrange that 2 weeks ago after the court when we were trying to contact you on Thursday or Friday?
Because we need to know that you agree to this before we arrange that.
I'm
But-
so sorry, but
no.
I'm really going to have
Okay,
Four
so
o'clock-
we come back
4 o'clock
for-
today, is it?
4 o'clock, yeah, but I will only have half an hour.
Alright, okay.
And I'm even pushing it with that.
No, alright. Okay.
Right,
Alright.
see you back here at 4 o'clock. I'll just
Oh,
have to lock
I'll
that
let
door
you
after
know.
you
Alright.
guys go out.
Oh.
When
Right.
you come in,
Sorry, we don't want to rush
Before
it,
the
just I'm
computer
doing
is
it.
Sorry. Put this in over. It's fine. Oh.
Yeah, see you at 4 o'clock, alright?
Alright. Ooh.
okay,
Okay,
see you
speak
later.
soon. Thank you.